Welcome to Crafty Polyglot, the monthly podcast where language meets creativity. Each month, we sit down with leading voices and innovators in language education, from renowned educators to pioneers shaping the future of multilingual learning. Together, we explore the art, science, and the passion behind mastering languages, uncovering the strategies and stories that inspire learners and educators around the globe. Whether you're a teacher, a student, or simply a language enthusiast, Crafty Polyglot is your gateway to fresh insights, practical tips, and meaningful conversations that celebrate the vibrant world of languages. Join us on this journey, because in every language, there's a new world to discover.
Hello, I'm Dr. Felicia EYBL, board member of Horse Education Group and the host of the Crafty Polyglot podcast. As a principal and teacher in a language immersion school, it's important to get input from all stakeholders, and that includes the parents of students. Today, I am speaking with Keisha Diamond Cobb, who has a son in German immersion. Keisha, welcome to the Crafty Polyglot.
Thank you, Dr. EYBL. I'm happy to be here.
So tell us what your motivation was for enrolling your son in a language immersion program, and why did you choose German?
Great questions. So first of all, I was a piano teacher for a while, and I taught a couple of students who were students at Smith Language Academy. And I was so impressed with their poise and their confidence. And so I started speaking to parents, and they were like, our children attend Smith Language Academy, and they were just speaking so highly of the program. And we were travelers. We've always traveled. My husband speaks some Spanish. I took Spanish in high school, French in college, and always knew that it was going to be important to have a child that's bilingual because we wanted him to travel and be a global citizen. And so after learning about Smith Language Academy, I did some more research. I didn't even have a child at the time. I was just, forward thinking. So fast forward, Caden was born. We had to go to Oklahoma. He took a Spanish class while we were there. And the teacher was just impressed with how quickly he picked up the language. So when we moved back to Charlotte, I said, you know what? It's time for him to go to elementary school. Let me look up Smith Language Academy. Of course, it was no longer Smith Language Academy. It was Waddell. Visited the school, met you, a couple of the other parents, and I was sold. Why we chose German, my husband is into math and statistics. He's just, the numbers guy. And we looked at the waitlist, to be honest with you. And German did not have a long wait list. And then we found out that that was the original language. And so we thought the program was probably very well developed. And so we chose German for that reason. Okay. not, a scientific reason, just that's why we chose it. We wanted to make sure he was accepted. And so we went with the language that did not have the long wait list.
And, there are lots of parents who do that.
Okay, great.
So what were your goals and expectations for the program when you chose it?
I wanted a school that was global minded, for one. And I also wanted a school that felt like a community. And I got very involved in the school when Caden started kindergarten and felt immediately that it was a community. The main goal for us, we wanted Caden to be fluent. And after touring the school, talking to a lot of the parents, the students were fluent. I remember the first, I guess it was in the auditorium. I forgot what it was, but you were speaking and you spoke in German. I was so impressed. I was like, wow, okay. The principal speaks German, all the other students seem to be fluent. And so we wanted that for Caden. We even went to a couple of the programs at the school, like some of the plays that they put on before we even started, because I need information.
Right.
I did all my research, and I was just impressed with how the students behaved and how the students were involved and the parents were involved. And we wanted that for Caden. We wanted an environment like that for him.
Well, that's great. That's great. And, like I've always said, Caden is such a great kid. And he always spoke German with me when I met him in the halls. That was just great.
Right.
Can you share specific examples that illustrate how immersion education influenced your son's global perspectives and his cultural awareness and his empathy toward others?
Very good question. So for Caden, we've always traveled. So he before we started at SAIL, he had gone out of the country a few times as a kid. And when we started at Sale, I think it came full circle for him. He wasn't surprised, like when they would have, food from different countries and he was not surprised by that. He wasn't taken aback. He was always ready to try new things. And I think that's because he already had somewhat of a global perspective. And I think Sale really made it full circle for him. Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. He's a more of a global citizen because of Sale and the exposure that he had to other countries before.
And how do you think participating in the student exchange built his confidence?
Oh man. He was already a mature kid, but what we noticed when he came back from his exchange program to Germany, he was just more confident. He carried himself with a sense of pride that he went to another country and was able to survive without us. He met great friends. He's still in contact with some of the students at the exchange school, the school he attended while he was there. I just feel like he came back way more responsible. I mean, he was always mature, but I felt like he was more responsible after coming back because he had to navigate being in another country for 2 weeks on his own. So I think that helped him a lot with
Great.
responsibility.
Yes. So, how do you feel that speaking a second language has influenced or impacted his educational goals?
So when we visited Germany in 2022 when I homeschooled him that one year, and he was very interested in visiting the University of Munich. Okay. And even at that age, as we've always spoken to him about college and thinking about the future and preparing for the future. And so I think because he went to say, I don't think he ever would have thought about going to university outside of the country at all. And I think because some of his teachers attended university outside of the States and some of the assistant teachers that would come over from Germany, I think that influenced him a lot in thinking more globally academically instead of just regional or staying in the States.
That's great because there are a lot of internships and scholarships and programs to study in Germany. So stay on top of that.
I definitely will.
It's also cheaper there.
Yes, it is.
So what advice would you offer to other parents who are exploring a language immersion education for their children?
Do it. My husband, I had to convince him because he was thinking more traditional schooling. He knew that Caden had a thing for languages. And he too, my husband, like he speaks some Spanish. He started learning German. He's learning Portuguese. Like he understands the value of having being able to speak multiple languages. But I still had to kind of convince him because it's not the traditional route.
Right.
But at South Academy of International Languages, I feel that Caden is receiving top tier education, in my opinion. Of course, we supplement. I think all parents, schooling does not just end when they leave at 3:15. We teach him at home as well. But I do feel like Caden received a great education. And the cherry on the top for me is the fact that he's leaving Sale fully fluent in German. When we travel, there's always someone from Germany. I guess they travel a lot. Every place we've gone,
they do.
Caden will hear it. And now I don't speak German, but I can hear the accent. And I'm like, I think they speak German. And he'll just walk up to them and he'll start speaking to them in German. And they're always impressed with the accent and the fact that he speaks it so well. And they're like, how did you learn? Did you live in Germany? And we always have to tell him, no, he goes to a school in the States that is immersion, fully immersion. And so I think that you need to do it. I mean, I think that in America, a lot of our students do not speak multiple languages. And I think that is a disadvantage being that this is such a global world. And Caden, I feel, and all the students at Sale, they have a little edge because they are
absolutely
capable of speaking more than one language.
Thank you. Well, is there anything else you would like to add?
No, I don't think so. This is just great. I'm so
Okay.
excited.
Well, thank
This is
you so
awesome.
much for joining us today. We appreciate you coming.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.